and welcome to this week's episode of the St. Lawrence Coaches Corner. My name is Megan Nichols, and joining me today is head men's and women's Alpine skiing coach, Willi Steinrotter. Willi, thanks so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. I look forward to it.
No problem. I'll jump right in with the first question of the day. You and your team just wrapped up the regular season with 2 back-to-back carnivals. Can you tell me how everything went?
They went well. I mean, usually we have our carnival season goes over 6 weeks, but with COVID this year, we only had four races, and it was a challenge to try to get those fit in because we couldn't race at most mountains on weekends, and so we were trying to juggle the schedule, but it ended up that the only weekend that Boston College could host theirs was right after we had hosted ours. Ours was a Thursday, Friday, and they could do it Saturday, Sunday in New Hampshire, which logistically was a bit of a nightmare, but the kids pushed through. I can tell you that they were all exhausted after those 4 straight days of racing, going back and forth to school to get tested so we could go to New Hampshire to race, and then coming back. And so, I mean, it was a challenge. I mean, we had some very good results. So I was really pleased with how they adapted and made it work for them.
That's awesome. And I know that the 4 days was a bit of a challenge, but what does it mean to your athletes to be able to still get out and ski this season?
It was, absolutely amazing. I mean, there were a lot of challenges for JD Levine, my assistant coach, and myself, working with Brian Atkins, our head trainer. He's just been a rock star through this, making it so we get the tests we need to get. We get them in a timely fashion. He was great for it. The kids right now with COVID and everything that's going on in the world, one of the few things that was normal in their life was the skiing, the racing. When they're in the start gate, there's no COVID, there's no political unrest, there's no social unrest. It's just them doing something that's normal for them. And it was great. I mean, there's a lot of talk of, everybody's mental health during this pandemic, and I mean it's taxing on everybody, and this definitely was great for the kids that they had this release and were able to do something that was normal.
That's awesome. And I know that the selection process was a little different this year, but you guys are taking a full team, which is your biggest team in program history, to NCAA's coming up. What are you looking forward to next week in New Hampshire, and what are you hopeful for?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, it definitely was a different year without having all the teams, which was unfortunate, because it definitely lost a little bit of the carnival feeling. But, at the end of the day, the kids had to go out and compete. They had to, ski well to earn the right to represent St. Lawrence at the NCAA. So, I mean, I'm so proud of, the kids that qualified and all the kids for, what they did this year, this winter, and what they went through to make this all work. It's great. We did have a carnival at Mittersill where the NCAAs are being hosted, and we had some very good individual results, race results. Some great individual runs, for both the men and women there. So, that was a slalom. So we're definitely looking forward to that. It's a hill that, I think almost all the kids know. So, it is the national championships. So you're going to have, the best athletes there that were competing this winter. So it will be a challenge. I know our kids have worked hard to, get the training, stay strong, and get themselves prepared for this, both physically and mentally. And, it's still a ski race, so, I mean, they're going to push out of the start. It doesn't matter that it's a national championship, an NCAA national championship. They're going to lay it on the line and go for it. So, and I think it's nice, with St. Lawrence, with the support that St. Lawrence has given the program this year too. And, in regards to, the extra tests that we had to do, the professors this winter have been unbelievable in how supportive and helpful they've been, because we did have, typically our carnivals are Friday, Saturday, and we had a number of them this year that were Thursday, Friday, where we would leave on Wednesday. And, it was great, the professors that were, willing to work with us. And, and obviously, I think Lisa Kenya and the administrative staff just, working with us to make it so we could go to some of the races, because there were some challenges with, going across state lines. And so, I mean, a lot of thank yous for a challenging, difficult winter, and obviously, Bob, DeRocher and Randy LeBrake, and just everything that they did to help us is just awesome.
Well, that's awesome. And I know that we're all excited to watch your six next week. So anyone that is looking forward to NCAAs, all the info will be on the Saint schedule page, and you are able to watch both the giant slalom and the slalom live, because those will be streaming on NCAA. So Willi, that was all I had for you today. Thanks so much for joining me. And I wish you and your team the best of luck next week in New Hampshire. And thanks to everyone for tuning into this week's episode of the Coach's Corner. Awesome.
Thank you. And just a quick plug, Wednesday morning, I think women's first run starts at 9:30, and Friday, and obviously the men go right after that. And then Friday for the slalom, I believe it's also at 9:30. So hope to see a lot of people checking in and watching the live stream.
Awesome. Thanks, Willi.
Yep. Thank you.